Hello, and welcome back to another video. This is Mr. EUC NYC guy, and we are now on 1st Avenue, riding uptown from Kung Fu Tea to Upper Manhattan. Check this out, got myself a little tea. It's not for me, I don't really like it so much, but I know people who do, and that's why I figured I'd take the ride down, grab some, and head back uptown. I don't usually come this far down on 2nd Avenue, nor do I go from 1st Avenue from this far down. So we might call this unfamiliar territory. And when I say unfamiliar territory, it doesn't mean I don't know where I am or anything like that. I know exactly where I'm at and where I'm going. But I say this because I don't know what the floor looks like on this path. In other words, I don't know what the stoplights behavior are. When do they stop? When do they go? Do they stop at the same time? Or do they happen in sequence? And also, I want to know where all the potholes, where all the sewer covers are, where all the potential dangers lurk. So, when I say unfamiliar territory, it means I have to ride a little slower and a little more carefully. However, I can see most of the roads up ahead. I can see most of the road up ahead and the pavement, so I could spot a lot of the imperfections and avoid them, and even if I hit them, I can see them coming at least. But in general, it's good to know exactly where they are coming up from several blocks away, which is why riding familiar streets and familiar paths and routes are much better and safer than going on new adventures and taking roads that you're not familiar with. Because if you're tailgating a car or if you're suddenly switching lanes to avoid some traffic danger, you may also run into some floor-related danger. And when I say floor, I'm talking about the asphalt, of course. So, also, I'm carrying some Kung Fu tea, so some bubble tea. So, and according to the guys in the shop, resale wheels are worth one bubble tea. I'm not sure what that inside joke means. I guess it means that they'll offer you basically next to nothing for your wheel that you have for sale as a way of mocking you and making fun of you and poking jest at you trying to actually recover some of your money so you can upgrade. But at the end of the day, you can still sell it by posting it online and getting a reasonable offer for it. So offering someone 1 cup of bubble tea for their expensive wheel is obviously absurd and not realistic. But who knows? Maybe someone out there. Comment below if you've sold a $1,000, $2,000 wheel for one $8 cup of tea with milk. And it's not dairy milk either, which I was pleased to find out. Apparently, they don't do dairy at all, so that makes sense, though. So many people are now allergic and intolerant of dairy that it just probably makes good sense to not even include dairy as an option. Even if it says milk on the menu without any asterisk, without any exception, it makes sense. It makes sense because, like, why have it? Why have it when no one can really consume it? I mean, some people can, but you're going to have so many people asking for alternative. Even I asked her, I was like, can I have an alternative to dairy as far as the milk? And she was like, oh no, it's all dairy free. And I was like, oh really? That's great. Woo. Anyway, my left knee pad keeps sliding down a little. This is not a new issue. Excuse me, beep beep, coming through. So I don't know if I need a new pair of knee pads or if I just need to figure out a better way to use the ones I have. But I'm always looking for an excuse to upgrade my gear and whatnot. You know, this bus is not. He's not taking any prisoners. Look at this guy. My guy. He's got that loud motorcycle motor. I'm gonna go for it. Cut out tunnel. Okay, so I guess I can consider this video to be a part 2 of the last video where I was talking to potentially new riders. I keep looking down at the speed of my wheel. They call this cutout tunnel because it's easy to cut out and you know, go over the speed limit of your wheel. And so people tend to cut out in this tunnel, but not me, because I'm looking down to check and make sure that I'm not exceeding the limit. And for these moments exactly is why I should have darkness bot turned on my phone, especially since I have my Bluetooth headset turned on in my helmet. But I'm not using it for anything except the occasional phone call. I don't even listen to music or audiobooks right now these days, because I'm usually recording, which means I'm usually talking. And so I don't know if I feel very comfortable talking and thinking and riding and doing all that at the same time with an audiobook or with music in my ears. I feel like if I was riding in solitude maybe, or not talking, then maybe I would like to listen to something while riding. But as long as I'm doing talks, as long as I'm discussing topics while riding, I feel like I'm not listening to anything. And even when I take a call, I kind of prefer not to be recording a video while taking the call. Because, you know, whatever, I'm on a call. It could be some personal stuff. Not too personal. I don't really have anything going on like that. But still, it's like, it just feels weird. And I like to be in tune with you guys when I'm actually recording. Hey. See, here we go. Ignorance. I mean, he just remorselessly dove out in front. I mean, I was next to him. I wasn't even behind him. He could see me by his side. And he just figured, listen, either you slow down or you die. He said to himself, that guy is on a wheel and I'm in a car. He has more on the line at stake than I do. And so I'm just going to go right and he'll figure out his life from there, referring to me. And you know what? I don't know how I feel about that. I know, my own fault. I have to ride defensively. My health and well-being is my own responsibility, as I've said in many videos before, and I'll say it again to you, the viewer. Because in fact, ooh, that's a beautiful BMW. What's all this? In fact, as on the topic of becoming an EUC rider, I should probably stress that to you right now, and that is, if you're the kind of guy whose temper flares up and he doesn't really know how to handle emotions and you get all indignant when somebody messes with you or somebody takes what's yours and is not cool to you, if you're the kind of guy that just has to have revenge right away when somebody, like, you gotta check your ego at the door once you become, because you gotta remember, as an EUC rider, you're basically a person with speedy feet. You're not a motorcycle, you're not a bicycle, you're not a scooter, you're not a car, you're a man standing, powering through the streets. You're powering through the streets in a position, in the same position, look at this guy, in the same position you would be in if you were just standing, because that's what you're doing, you're standing. And so, yeah. So, like I said, you cannot expect, not only are there discourteous drivers who see you and don't care, but you can't even expect everyone to see you, period. End of story. I mean, and let alone, look at this guy, Mr. Important over here, riding through the bus. Now, here's the opposite of what we were saying. These people are using the bus lane with impunity, even though they're not supposed to. Whereas we have other people afraid to even go in the bus lane at all until it's time for them to make their turn. So it's like one end of the spectrum to the other. Will we have any middle ground? Who knows? Will we have anyone who actually obeys the law? Who knows? Seems like a rough ask, but it is a diplomat car, and I'm sure he has some kind of immunity from it. But at the same time, it's like, there's still the safety risk element involved, which is my safety, because I'm in the bus lane. Should I be in the bus lane? Vote, yes or no. Okay, so remember when I was talking about, in the other video, I was talking about, boom, learning how to ride, boom, riding for a few months, boom, and I was just going down the list of what the timeline looks like for you to get to this point of riding. So let me give you the short version. It takes 2 or 3 years of riding your EUC to be at the point of riding with traffic with relative comfort and ease at speeds of up to 20, 30, even 40 miles an hour at times. And I don't do 40 a lot anymore. I'm a little bit still scarred mentally and emotionally from when I had my accident. So even if you watch all my videos, you'll see that I hover in that 25 mile per hour speed range. Even if I'm weaving through traffic from time to time, I notice that I rarely hit 30, even 32, 34 sometimes. But it's like brief and it doesn't last. It's not long lasting. And I want to say I don't really remember ever seeing any video where the odometer, where the speedometer actually said 40 and up. I don't think I mean, I probably have ridden 40 and up at some point somewhere in recent times, like since having crashed, but I don't recall seeing that on any of my videos. I'm pretty sure I've watched all of my videos carefully enough to have noticed if I did. So in any case, my point was that it takes a while. It takes hundreds, if not thousands of miles of riding for you to get to the point where you're riding with traffic with impunity. And I can't even use the word with impunity because that implies that you're like safe and have no issues, when in fact you always have the issue of, like, is this guy in front of me going to do some insane driving maneuver that's going to put my life at risk? Because sometimes people are on their phones, or they're just not very good drivers. They're not, when I say not good driver, that means like they don't pay attention to their surroundings and they do things without looking carefully enough first before doing such a move. I'd say the fastest I've ever ridden in the streets was when I've done the group rides from Kung Fu Tea with the guys. I've struggled to keep up with everyone, but it ended up being, I had so much adrenaline where I was actually making the wheel beep. This was a while back, where I was making the wheel beep incessantly, which means I was going 45 miles an hour constantly, and the wheel was beeping to warn me to slow down. And I was able to hear it very faintly and slow down here and there to avoid cutting out and crashing. But again, I was with the group, so I felt the safety in numbers kind of thing kicking in, and cars were really staying away from us because they were shocked at what they were seeing. But ultimately, that's not really a realistic and persistent way to ride, nor will it happen persistently. So there you go. For the younger guys, I do know some drivers. Look at that. It's just his whole back taillight destroyed by some guy making a turn and crashing into his car. A parked car. Somebody was such a bad driver that they demolished the rear end of a parked car at that corner. Anyway, I should go back and take a closer look, but I'm not going to do that. You could probably rewind it or zoom in, I'm sure. I'd say a younger, more aggressive go-getter might take a year, maybe a year and 2 months to get to the point that I think should take 2 years. But even then, the more time, the more you slow burn, the more you take it easy to get to that point, the more likely you are to be a sensible, careful, well-balanced rider that is going to be careful not to get into an accident and not injure him or herself very badly. So, with that said, I think that if you still want to ride in EUC after hearing all that, it's never too late in the game. You don't have to worry about other riders already having all experience. I don't even think you have to worry about age. Age is also not a huge determining factor, because anyone from the age of about 18, I want to say 25. I think 18 is too young. I think if you're 18, you're going to do something crazy on your wheel. You're going to be too aggressive. That's just how 18-year-olds are. They're that way when they're riding their cars, when they're on scooters. So I really wouldn't even advise an 18-year-old to pick up electric unicycle. It's already a crazy and dangerous sport as it is, or sport, a means of it's already a dangerous enough means of commuting and traveling. I don't know, traveling? what I say, traversing as it is. So being 18 up to 25, think about it. Insurance companies raise your insurance rate hugely if you're between the age of 18 and 25. So that tells you something already right there as far as risk and sanity and being careful out here. So yeah, if you're between the age of 25 and 45 and you're healthy, your knees are healthy, your body's healthy, your blood pressure, all that is okay, you're not going to pass out while you're on the wheel and you don't have issues, complication, then get in there and get an electric unicycle if that's what you want. If you just love it and you're just tired of traffic and you're just tired of not having fun every single day, everywhere you go, then grab one. Order one, learn it, get into the hobby. It's a great way to be healthy, to put a little thrill and spice in your days, and you will enjoy it, and you will get good at it, and you will be able to handle it. A lot of people say, I don't have good balance. You must have good balance. I don't have good balance. It's just repetition. I'm about as good on the electric unicycle as about the amount of times I've done it. So it's not like I'm just somehow a well-balanced individual who fell into electric unicycling and was able to do it out of the box because I'm a good balance. No, it's repetition. It's repetition, and I learned it just like anyone else could and would potentially learn it, by dedicating the time and effort and having the interest, the desire to do so. And so that's where it comes from. And yes, I think you can do it. Anybody can do it. You know what I mean? Folks, this is the end of the line. I hope you enjoyed another video. I hope you enjoyed tagging along with me on this journey. I love having you and talking with you. I love when you hit that like button. I like when you subscribe. I like when you comment. Help me propel this thing up to another universe. Let me know how I can help you by leaving a comment. Let me know what questions are lingering around in your head. That's right. Just take the effort. Just type in a little something and let me know what you're thinking. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye. Click on the circle and on the box right here. Click them. Go ahead, click it. Don't go to someone else's channel. Stay on this channel. Watch another video or two. Have fun here. Subscribe, share, hit that share button.